It's time for a roundup of the 5 best cameras I've used this year. It's been a monumental year for cameras. I think we've had some really fantastic models launched, so let's get right into it. At number 5, probably the biggest surprise on this list is the Polaroid Go Gen 2. I know, it's a toy, I get it, but it's so much fun. I think it's the best embodiment of what an instant camera should be. We're all out here chasing bigger film formats for our instant photography, and it's just not what it's about. It's meant to be fun, it's meant to be convenient, and honestly, the Polaroid Go Gen 2 embodies that entirely. I love it. At number 4, we have the first of 2 entries from Fuji. This is the GFX 100S Mark II, and it is their medium format on a slightly tighter budget. And I say slightly, I think it's still about 5 grand. But holy moly, does that thing have some resolution. If you're into Fujifilm cameras, and to be honest, you should be, they're pretty damn good. This thing gets you a 102 megapixel sensor, which means you could crop into like the tiniest little corner and still have a pretty decent image. Really fun to use, and I shot one of my favorite images with it, so it's got a special place in my heart. At number 3, it's the other Fujifilm camera, and of course, it's the X100VI. I have very mixed feelings about this camera, but I cannot deny how fun it is to use. The film simulations are revered for a reason. They're so good. You can still, I think, not get them at retail. As far as I last looked, they're still pretty hard to get hold of, but if you can, they're definitely worth it. Number 2 is a more recent one, and it's the Sony A1 Mark II. Now, I recently got to test this at a live Premier League football match, really getting to use it in its home environment, and the results are astounding. It is so brilliant in the way it computerizes certain aspects of the process to take the guesswork out. It basically ended up as a bit of a set it and forget it, and it was just really fun to use. The other benefit is, with a big 50 megapixel sensor in there, you can crop for days and still get a fantastic image. And again, I've shot some of my favorite images ever with it, so I'm a happy man. And last but not least, the number 1 spot, it goes to the Leica SL3. Now this was launched earlier in the year and follows a similar theme actually to the A1 II and the Fuji GFX that we mentioned in this list, in that it's a massive sensor with a lot of room to crop in as you need. It's an interesting one. SLRs obviously aren't particularly associated with the Leica brand, certainly not as much as their rangefinder cameras, but I really enjoyed it, and I think it's a really great way of getting that beautiful Leica image quality with a slightly more user-friendly format. Overall, I think I spent a few days with the camera and just shot some fantastic stuff. So much detail, so much resolution, in true Leica fashion, devilishly easy to use. It was great fun to shoot, and I think that's what photography should really be about.